Munich City Center. The Alligators are congregated, some of which are congregated along the right field line. The rest of them are sitting in the shade in the dugout. There's a few disciples on the field, in the center field. And now Mitch Stefan and the three umpires, Dan DeBacco, Mark Major, and Patrick Meister, are heading towards home plate. And Norman Eberhardt is coming out of the Alligators dugout. He is going to take part in that meeting at home plate that will precede Game 2. Well, yesterday's ball game was an exciting one for about 5 innings, and then Solingen pulled away with a 4 spot in the 6th. They added another run in the 8th inning, I believe it was, and they ended up with a fairly clear 7-1 victory. Yesterday, of course, the Disciples were a little frustrated. They were not able to use Lucas Steinlein. However, today, Steinlein is back in the lineup, fully eligible, having served his 1-game suspension. And the Disciples are going to send the following defensive alignment. Lucas Steinlein will be in left, Bruno Auerhammer in center, Ty Erickson is in right, Josh Peterson at third, Kristen Siegler is at short, Richard Klein is at second, Mitch Stefan is at first, Jose Palacios is the catcher, and Gabe Sendersis is pitching. For the Alligators, their batting lineup will be as follows. Florian Goodson, the center fielder, leads off. Dominic Wolf, the third baseman, bats second. Tanner Layton, who was a late switch to designated hitter, will bat third. Daniel Sanchez, the shortstop, is going to bat fourth. Nils Hartkopf, who was originally penciled in as the designated hitter and now switched, will play second base and bat fifth. Sasha Brookmeyer bats sixth and plays right field. Dustin Hughes bats seventh, playing first base. Marcus Stritzek getting the start today, batting eighth and playing left field. David Selsemeyer, the catcher, bats ninth. So there you see Alex Freisleben, who takes such wonderful photos for the Haar Disciples. He's on the left of your screen behind the tallest member of the group. That's a tall group of people over there. Mitch Stefan and Norman Eberhardt, both about 1.90 meters. And so Dan DeBacco, the home plate umpire. Patrick Meister is on the right. He will be at first base. Mark Major is on the left. He will be the third base umpire.
So, ich stelle euch schon mal unsere Umpire des heutigen Spieltags vor. Es sind die drei Burschen von gestern, haben gestern schon einen super Job gemacht. Auch heute wieder herzlich willkommen Patrick Meister, Daniel DeBacco und Mark Major. Herzlich willkommen. Auch herzlich willkommen unser Mr. Disciples, Kamal. Der Junge ist gestern erst aus China eingeflogen. Okay, und jetzt geht's los. Herzlich willkommen für unsere Disciples am heutigen Spieltag. Er schlägt der Bänder an unsere Nummer 25. Second Base, Richie Klein. An der Platte unsere Nummer 4, Jose Palacios. Shortstop mit der 27, Chris Ziegler. Auf Third Base unsere Nummer 19, Mr. Josh Peterson. Auf First Base unser Coach, Bühne 97 mit Stefan. Im Right Field die 16, Ty Erickson. Und im Left Field wieder dabei unser Steinlein. Im Center Field die Nummer 7, Bruno Auerhammer. Als Gate die 99, Klaus Mikolicki. Und auf dem Hügel unsere 21, Gabe Sendersis. Auf der Bank die 5, Marco Lixer, 13, Sandy Basel, 37, Rufio Schulz. Die 71, BC, Bernd Radovic. Und die 29, Dennis Jeberowski. So Freunde, dann würde ich euch bitten, kurz die Plätze zu erheben. Die Alligators kommen kurz aus dem Dugout raus. Wir singen die Nationalhymne. Vielen Dank.
All right, you heard it, folks. The disciples have taken the field.
Mannschaftsaufstellung der Alligators kommt dann
National hymn
natürlich,
has been
wenn sie
played.
in der Defense sind.
Gabe Sandersis is standing out on the mound. Jose Palacios is about to take his position behind home plate. And Mr. Disciple is over on the left, trying to rile up the crowd. Mr. Disciple is a welcome addition to the festivities here, I gotta say. And we are almost ready for game 2, best of 5 series between the Solingen Alligators and the Munich-Haar Disciples. It is a windy day. You can clearly hear that probably through the crowd microphone, which is up on top of the scorer's booth. The wind is blowing quite hard. But it feels good in these high temperatures. Sanders is still waiting on the mound.
So, schon mal die ersten 3 Schlagläufe auf Seiten der Alligators. Florian Götze, Dominik Ruiz.
Tim Williford is bringing a towel out to dust off home plate. That's what the delay was. They had trouble getting the dirt off of home plate, most likely because of the hose spraying the infield dirt before the warm-ups, or after the warm-ups before the game began. And the home plate was covered with mud. So Tim Williford out there to do some housekeeping. And now Gabe Sandersis is going to start throwing his warm-up pitches. And as he does it, I'll give you the Solingen lineup one more time. Florian Götze leads off. He's the center fielder. Dominic Wolf, the third baseman, bats second. Tanner Layton, the designated hitter, bats third. Daniel Sanchez, the shortstop, bats fourth. Niels Hartkopf, former Haar disciple, among other teams, the second baseman, bats fifth. Sasha Brockmeyer, the right fielder, bats sixth. Dustin Hughes, the first baseman, bats seventh. Marcus Stritzek, the left fielder, bats eighth. And David Selsemeyer, another former Haar disciple, is the catcher, and he is batting ninth. For Sandersis, the left-hander comes in with a record of 9 wins and 3 losses, 99 in the third innings pitched for the left-hander from Arizona, 2.81 ERA. He struck at 83 in those 99 in the third innings, gave up 85 hits, 31 earned runs, 31 walks. And Gabe is going to have a tough task ahead of him because the opponent on the other side of the mound, Chris Metzger, for his team has also been an excellent pitcher, so it should be a low-scoring, tight ball game. And those are always the most fun, so that's what we're all hoping for. Defensively behind Sandersis, Peterson is at third, Ziegler at short, Klein at second, Stefan at first, Steinlein in left field, Auernhammer in center, Eriksson in right, Palacios behind the plate. Florian Götze is going to step up to the plate. And we are ready for game 2. As Gabe Sandersis getting the sign from Palacios. Peterson up on the edge of the grass at third. First pitch of the game right now, and it's outside, ball 1. Florian Götze yesterday had a very good day. He doubled, scored a run, and he also threw out a runner at third, which squelched a rally. There's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Bruno Auerhammer playing center field today for the second straight day. And that's because Cedric Bossel is extremely sick. There's a pitch called strike 2 on the outside corner. One ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out, top of the first. This one in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count now even. I mentioned Auernhammer, who started yesterday's game in center field. Only played a handful of games in center this year. But he is filling in for Cedric Bossel, who is very sick. Bossel was pressed into action yesterday, but said he felt very strange out there. There's a pitch inside, and Götze has worked a full count against Sandersis. Sandersis throwing a lot of off-speed pitches to the first batter of the game. The count is full, 3-2. And Gabe taking his time, trying to find it. He does not want to give a leadoff walk to Götze, who is a speedy base runner. Here's the payoff pitch. A little bit low, ball 4. Goodsit didn't take the bat off his shoulders, and he's going to get to go to first base for free with a walk. So Goodsit will now have to deal with the pickoff move of Gabe Sendersius, which I'm sure he remembers from last year's playoff. Goodsit with a short lead off the bag. Here's Dominic Wolf. And Goodsit not going. Wolf shows bunt, pulls it back. The pitch is inside for a ball. Dominic Wolf looking down to Norman Eberhardt for the signs. Goodsit did not have a good read on Sendersius' move on that last pitch. I've said it before, really the only way to steal off of Gabe is to just guess and hope you guess right. And the pitch, swing and a miss after he showed bunt. Dominic Wolf trying to play little mind games with Sendersius. Showed the bunt to try and induce the Disciples' defense to maybe charging in, and then he swung away and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a 1-1 pitch, and Sendersius steps off and checks on Goodsit, who has a very short lead over at first base. Solingen fans on their feet. The pitch on the way. Line drive, foul ball off the end of the bat. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2, that looked like another off-speed pitch from Sendersius. Wolf was out in front, hit it off the end of the bat and lined it past Peterson down the line. Now Gabe comes set, 1 and 2. Goods not running the pitch. Swung on and popped up. This is playable. Josh Peterson shades his eyes from the sun at the edge of the grass. Waits a long time for it to come down, and he squeezes it for the first out. That ball was hit way up there into a bright sun, and Josh, shading his eyes the entire time, makes the play. And there's 1 out. Goodsit has to stay at first base. So now Tanner Layton, who was originally in the lineup as the second baseman, and then about 10 minutes before game time, Norman Eberhardt came up to the scores box and indicated that he had switched, and Layton is now the designated hitter. Nils Hartkopf, who was originally the designated hitter, is in the field at second base. Runner on first is Goodsit. 1 out. And the pitch. Layton takes a strike. That looked like either a cut fastball or something from Sendersius. Normally his fastball tails into a left-hand hitter, but that one was moving away from Layton. Layton, who stands close to the plate with his left foot, but his right foot is opened slightly. And a throw to first. Goodsit was leaning, and he is safe. And I think Stefan dropped the ball. Oh, no, he did not. Mitch is arguing. Goodsit was definitely picked on that, except he got his hand in there. He was going on that pitch, or at least he did not get a good read. However, the call goes the way of the Alligators. And the count is still 1 strike. Sendersius still not happy with the call. That was Patrick Meister. He's standing right over there with the 3-man umpire crew. The umpires get to see a much clearer look on close plays here in the playoffs. Normally, during the regular season, they only have 2 umpires. But in the quarterfinals and semifinals, they have 3, and in the final series, they have 4. 0-1 on Layton, the pitch. Breaking ball. Strike 2. He dropped it in over the inside corner. A good pitch from Sendersius. And he's out in front, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Scoreboard says 1-1, but it's 0-2. Goodsit taking his lead. And the pitch. That one is away. Layton looking at a breaking ball, sweeping down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner on first is Florian Goodsit. He walked. And a throw to first behind him as Sendersius tried the little step and throw move before coming set. Goodsit that time was back easily. That's an easier move for base runners to read. Of course, Sendersius' throw to first looks exactly the same as his throw to the plate. Here's the 1-2. A little half swing tapper on a big hop back to Sendersius. He's going to have 1 play to first, and that's it. Goodsit will take second base. That ball bounced too high in the air for Sendersius to have a play at second, and he knew it. Aware of who was running the bases,
Mr. Schlagmann, die Nummer 9.
So Leighton is out on a half swing grounder back to the pitcher. There are 2 down. And with 2 outs and the runner at second base, Daniel Sanchez will take his place in the batter's box as we look at the replay. Leighton just protecting with 2 strikes. Advances good to the second base. So Daniel Sanchez who is in his second year with the Solingen Alligators, is up there with Florian Goetze on second base. 2 outs in the inning, no score, top of the first, game 2. And he swings and misses at an off-speed pitch. That might have been the split-fingered. Sanchez with a big, long swing, whirling the bat through the zone, and he was over the top of that pitch and missed strike 1. Sandersis has been throwing mostly off-speed pitches, from what I can tell this inning. The pitch swung on, grounded, foul, and Sanchez is in the hole, 0-2. One of Sandersis' approach for this game is to pitch backwards. Usually pitchers will start with the fastball, try to establish that, and then go to their off-speed pitches. Sandersis looks like he's just started the game with mostly off-speed pitches. He's got an 0-2 count on Daniel Sanchez with Goetze at second and 2 outs. There's the pitch. Fastball high and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Palacios had to reach way up into his right to backhand that one. Sandersis spinning off the mound after he delivered the pitch, perhaps overthrowing it just a little bit. One ball and 2 strikes to count with 2 outs. Runner Florian Goetze at second base. No score in the first inning. Here's the pitch from Sandersis to Sanchez. Breaking ball, a little bit high and outside. Sandersis thought he might get the call, but that pitch looked like it curved around the plate. Tobacco. Take a look at that last pitch. This is a 1-2 breaking ball. Palacios tried to frame it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on second. Here's the pitch. Swung on, tapped weakly up the third baseline, foul, and we'll do it again. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sanchez has topped a couple of rollers down the line, but he's fouled off the pitch. Remember, Leighton hit a little weak ground ball. So Sandersis trying to do it the way Andre Hughes did it yesterday, changing speeds. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second base. Here's the pitch to Sanchez. Grounded, foul again, just barely. That one much closer to the line, maybe about a foot to the left of it. Peterson would have had no chance. Goetze would have scored on that. And the count still 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sandersis to Daniel Sanchez. Sanchez in the regular year batted .405. That was 32 hits and 79 at-bats, 2 home runs, a triple, 6 doubles. So he is a full-fledged offensive threat. Good speed, tough to get him on a slow ground ball. Here's the 2-2 pitch, a long hold from Sandersis. Now he comes to the plate. Fastball, strike 3 is called on the outside corner. And Sanchez immediately hot with Dan Tobacco. And the inning is over. Gabe Sandersis, who held that fastball in his back pocket until he really needed it, and he comes back and blows away Sanchez for the 3rd out of the inning. Let's look at it again. No runs, no hits, 1 left, no errors. At the end of a half inning, Solingen nothing, Haar coming to bat. Der Ingo ist der heutige Bürgermeister. Und muss ich auch sagen, die Burgers here in Haar sind wirklich eine der besten in München. These are some of the best hamburgers in Munich. You got all the fixings. Of course, you can get all your refreshing cold beverages right over here in the fan shop. French fries ready. There's French fries, Mr. Sandersis. Working double duty today. All right, thank you, folks. Der Ingo ist der heutige Bürgermeister. Und muss ich auch sagen, die Burgers here in Haar sind wirklich eine der besten in München. These are some of the best hamburgers in Munich. You got all the fixings. Of course, you can get all your refreshing cold beverages right over here in the fan shop. French fries ready. There's French fries, Mr. Sandersis. Working double duty today. All right, thank you.
30, First Base, Dustin Nunes. Mit der 33 im Left Field, Markus Stippek. Mit der 31 hinter der Platte, David Selsemeyer. Und auf dem Mount mit der 22 Chris Metzger. Das Ganze unter der Verantwortung von Coach Munich-Haar.
Well, we're back after Gabe Sandursis stranded a base runner in the top half of the first inning. Chris Metzger is on the mound for the Solingen Alligators, the right-hander from Colorado. He had an ERA of 1.36, minuscule. He gave up, the most runs he gave up in a game all year was 4, and that was to the Bonn Capitals. And incidentally, in that same game, he struck out 15. Overall, 86 in the third innings pitched, 10-1 record. Only 52 hits, only 13 earned runs, only 9 walks. That's maybe the most impressive number out of everything. 9 walks, 135 strikeouts in 86 and a third innings. So the Disciples will have a tall order ahead of them. They beat Metzger last year in the playoffs, but then he came back in the second game and nearly pitched a perfect game. Behind him defensively, Dominic Wolf is at third, Daniel Sanchez at short, Nils Hardkopf at second, Dustin Hughes at first, Marcus Stritzek in left field, Florian Götze in center, Sasha Brookmeyer in right, and David Selsemeyer behind the plate and catching. Richard Klein is going to lead things off for the Haar Disciples here in the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Klein, Palacios, and Ziegler. The rest of the lineup, Peterson, Stefan Eriksson, Steinlein, Auernhammer, and Nico Lici, the designated hitter in the number 9 hole. So Richard Klein going to step up. Klein had 2 hits in yesterday's game, a single and a double. And Chris Metzger, a tall right-hander, works from the right side of the rubber and deals first pitch. Fastball strike to the knees on the outside corner. And with a guy who only walked 9 all season, you're going to see lots of strikes, I can imagine. He works from the extreme first base side of the rubber. And the pitch is popped up weakly to the right side. Dustin Hughes, a few steps to the left of first, makes the play. 2 pitches, and Klein pops out for the first out. Looked like a fastball that was tailing in on Klein's hand. And now Jose Palacios, the hitter. Metzger has almost always gone deep into games. He pitched a full 9 innings twice. Probably would have done that more were it not for the 10-run rules. And he deals a strike to Palacios, fastball. No nonsense so far on the first 3 pitches from Chris. Jose Palacios, the native of Argentina. 0-1. Ground ball slowly to third. It stayed down on Wolf, but he gloves it and throws across the diamond in time, 2 outs. That ball took a little hop as it hit the edge of the grass where the dirt meets the grass in the infield, and Dominic Wolf, showing good hands, was able to keep his glove down on that ball. And very nonchalantly made the play to first. So Metzger has thrown 4 pitches, and there are already 2 outs. And now Ziegler, the left-handed hitter. Ziegler with an open stance, the first pitch. Fastball inside. Metzger throws hard. Metzger last year when he pitched against the Disciples and the Heidekopf in the championship series, it was a 1-0, slapped, fouled on the line, strike 1. Metzger was roughed up in his first game against Haar and then dominated in the second time. And then the same thing happened against the Heidekopf. He was knocked around and ended up losing game 2 of the championships last year by a score of 9-0, but then he came back and was magnificent in the clinching game. There's a big bouncer to short. Daniel Sanchez grabs it on the second hop, throws to first, and the inning is over. So a 7-pitch inning for Chris Metzger, and the Disciples are out in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 1 full, we're scoreless.
Servus, Ingrid, ja, kannst du ein bisschen erzählen über die schöne Zeug?
Zum Beispiel das Trainingsshirt für die Kinder oder für die Erwachsenen.
For kids and
Sieht
adults.
man genauso aus wie die Herren 1 im Training.
Looks exactly like the first men's Bundesliga team. In training, what else we got here?
Oder
Gelb-Schwarz.
gelb-schwarze Jacke mit Disciples Day.
Yeah, it's got like a vintage retro look to it. That's pretty cool.
Ja.
We also have hats.
Und dann
Right, where are the hats? Caps and okay, let's take a look at these. Oh, there's also sunflower seeds. Yeah, schöne Mützen. This is the old-fashioned one, right?
ja. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's even a mirror. Hey. All kinds of good stuff. We have the Disciples jerseys. This is a very impromptu little commercial we're doing here. Thank you, Sep. This is a soft shell jacket. Thank you, Sep, for the information.
Hoodie.
The hoodie. We got the hoodie.
Majestic hoodie.
Ah, yeah, majestic hoodie. Nice. This is a nice hoodie.
Also a hoodie, but only with a sweater.
Schön.
Ja.
Okay, vielen Dank.
We're back for the top of the second inning. Gabe Sandursis pitched around a walk. And the first time through, he walked Florian Goetze to lead off the game. Goetze was stranded at second base when Daniel Sanchez was caught looking for strike 3. So Hartkopf, Bruckmeyer, and Hughes, 5, 6, and 7 will be the hitters that Sandursis has to deal with as we go to work in the top of the second inning of a scoreless game. And Gabe's first pitch, fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes to Nils Hartkopf. Hartkopf, who is 29 years old, takes a pitch strike called on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioned it yesterday, Hartkopf won the German national championship 2 years in a row, once with Solingen, once with Mainz. And he hits a fly ball to right field. Eriksson coming in, makes an easy one-handed catch.
Jawohl, Kai Eriksson aus Nummer 1.
1 up and 1 down here in the second, and that will bring up Sascha Bruckmeyer.
Wenn der Kollege einen Strikeout kriegt, dann gibt es Bier für 5 Minuten. Für 1 Euro, natürlich auch alle anderen Getränke mit der Nummer 11, Sascha Bruckmeyer.
Bruckmeyer this year batted 195, 8 hits and 41 at bats, but he showed off a good arm and good range in the outfield yesterday. Here's the pitch. Line drive over Peterson's head, a base hit down the line all the way into the corner. Steinlein's going to have to dig it up. Bruckmeyer rounds first, heads to second base. Steinlein's throw will go to third, and that is a 1-out double for Sascha Bruckmeyer. Hit that ball very hard. Bruckmeyer swinging on the first pitch. Pitch right down the middle, lined it over the leap of Josh Peterson, and that was an easy stand-up double for Sascha. That's the first hit allowed by Sandursis. And the Alligators doing what they do, putting the pressure on. Here's Dustin Hughes. Gabe Sandursis is going to work from the stretch now with Bruckmeyer out on second base. And he whirls and looks Bruckmeyer back to the bag. Dustin Hughes, a right-hand hitter in there. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Sandursis threw a lot of off-speed pitches in the first inning. That was a fastball, and it was out over the plate. Hughes swung right through it. Hughes batted .289 this year. He did not have a home run. Did have 1 triple and 8 doubles, however. Solingen has a large ballpark. I think it's significantly larger than the ballpark here in Haar. 1 ball and 1 strike as that pitch is low and inside. So you don't see lots of high home run numbers. Florian Goetze and Tanner Layton both with 4 leading the Solingen Alligators. And now Palacios and Sandursis is going to have a little chat. That was a breaking pitch that was down and in. Dustin Hughes, the tall first baseman for the Solingen Alligators. Sascha Bruckmeyer, the policeman, is out on second base. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Sandursis getting the sign from Palacios. Now he comes set. Look at Bruckmeyer, the pitch to Dustin Hughes. He's low and in. 2 balls and a strike. Hughes was looking for that breaking pitch, it looked like. Sandursis trying to throw one down and in to get Hughes to swing over the top of it, but Hughes not chasing. Gabe comes set, 2 balls and a strike. Here it comes. This one low, 3-1 now. Gotta wonder what kind of an advantage it is for the Alligators having David Selsemeyer, a catcher who caught Gabe Sandursis last year. Selsemeyer knows exactly what Sandursis throws and how he likes to work hitters and also how he thinks on the mound. Here's a 3-1 pitch. A fly ball hit off the fist to shallow center field. Bruno Auernhammer now ranging over to right center, makes the catch, runner tags. to draw the throw. And Siegler fields the throw. It's a fly ball for out number 2. And that was a big pitch because it was a 3-1 pitch. And Hughes, instead of reaching base, flies out, and there are 2 down. And that'll bring up Marcus Stritzek. Stritzek entered the game halfway through for Sasha Steffens yesterday. During the year, he batted .159 with 2 doubles, 9 singles, so that's 11 hits and 69 at-bats. Struck out 21 times. Right-hand hitter, playing left field today. And the pitch is inside, ball 1. Stritzek, the number 8 hitter, is on deck. Is hitting. Selsemauer, the number 9 hitter, is on deck. 1 ball, no strikes. Right around second, instead of whirl and a fake throw to second base. Brookmeyer dove back in a panic, but there was no fielder ready to field the ball, so Sandorsius obviously was not going to throw the ball to nobody. There was a play 2 weeks ago where the San Francisco Giants used the center fielder on a play like that to try and pick off Bryce Harper. Here's the 1-1. Fastball, strike at the letters on the outside corner. One ball and 1 strike to count now. I think I said it was a 1-1. That was a 1-0 pitch. Now the count is 1-1. Sandorsius comes set, and now, as Klein was running in behind Brookmeyer, Sandorsius whirls and didn't throw it. There are 2 outs in the inning. Brookmeyer, the runner on second base. Sandorsius now tying his shoe behind the mound. You see the positioning. Lucas Steinlein in left field is way over towards the gap. He's got to be 120 feet or so away from the left field line. If Stritzek pulls one, he can run for a while. Of course, with 2 outs, it doesn't really matter. Brookmeyer would probably score on just a single anyway. So 1-1 the count to Stritzek. Swing and a miss. That looked like the split-fingered fastball that dives down and away. Stritzek letting go of the bat with his top hand as he swung and missed at that one. And the count is 1-2. Sasha Brookmeyer doubled, and he's on second base. There are 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. The ball blocked by Palacios. He's going to go to third instead to get the runner. Now Brookmeyer is in a rundown, then Siegler tags him out. Palacios trying to take the lead runner rather than the play to first. And so it's a strikeout for Stritzek. However, he technically reaches on a wild pitch, and Brookmeyer is out 2-5-6 for the 3rd out of the inning. Inning is over. 2nd strikeout for Sandorsius. And that does it for us in the top of the 2nd. No score.
So, wir bedanken uns weiterhin bei unseren Förderern und Unterstützern der Steuerkanzlei Lehmann. Wenn ihr Probleme habt mit eurer Steuererklärung und wollt nichts mehr selber machen, dann einfach www.steuerkanzleilehmann.de sagen, ihr seid von den Disciples und dann ist gut.
All right, we're back for the bottom of the 2nd inning. Scoreless game. Chris Metzger needed only, if my counting is correct, 7 pitches to get through the 1st inning unscathed. He got a pop-up and 2 grounders. So it's going to be Peterson, Stefan, and Erickson, 4, 5, 6 against the right-hander. Here's the pitch. Fastball missed low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Josh this year hit 6 home runs. Here's the 1-0 to him. And he fouls what looked like an off-speed pitch off on the inside corner. Josh with a big swing, 1 ball and 1 strike to count to him. Chris Metzger has also pitched in France. He's from Boulder, Colorado. It's a 1-1 pitch to Josh. Fly ball slapped off to the right in foul ground. That ball is going to blow out of play, and it hits the net. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hughes and Hartkopf and Brockmeyer chasing after that ball, but nobody got close. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Bottom of the second inning, no score in the game. Solingen has stranded 2 base runners. A walk to Goetze and a double to Brockmeyer, but Sandursis has escaped both innings unscathed. Metzger hardly broke a sweat in the first. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Josh Peterson. Hit off the fist slowly, and it is fielded by Metzger to the left of the mound, and he lobs over to first. 1 out. Very weak contact. That pitch was a breaking pitch. And Metzger off the mound to his right, our left, able to backhand it. And Josh is out. 1 down, and that'll bring up Mitch Stefan. That's 3 ground ball outs already of the first 4 hitters. And Mitch swings and fouls away the first pitch. I'd like to give a shout out to Steve. Thanks, Steve, for the French fries. You are now famous. 1 strike to count to Mitch Stefan. 1 out. Another big crowd in Haar today. Love it. And a big swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. Stefan way out in front. Metzger has only thrown 2 balls in the entire game. Of course, with 1 out in the second inning, we're still in the early going, but he has looked locked in the 0-2. That ball hit hard to deep right center field, but Florian Goetze right there makes the catch. That pitch, probably a mistake from Metzger. It was an 0-2 pitch, and it was right down and in where Stefan likes it. He was able to hit it hard, but hit it right at Florian Goetze. And there are 2 outs.
Ty Eriksson.
And 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Ty Eriksson. Eriksson batted .280 in the regular season. 2 home runs, 23 runs scored, 18 runs batted in. He slugged .450. Productive player, longtime member of the Haar Disciples. And the pitch is a strike at the knees on the inside corner with good movement. Metzger obviously is at his best when he keeps the ball in that location from the knees or lower. If he's throwing that fastball for a strike at the knees, like that. Oh, that one was outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. It was at the knees, but it was off the plate away. If he's throwing that pitch consistently for strikes, it makes the Disciples hitters vulnerable to chasing a pitch that breaks down and out of the zone. There's a liner down the line, foul. Off to the right, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The wind is blowing everything, from what I gather, in from left field, so anything hit in the air to right will be blown further towards the right field line. Anything hit in the air to left field is probably going to have a rough time carrying. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Ty Eriksson. Slow curve, and it is high. 2-2. That was a much slower pitch than the previous pitches Metzger has thrown. Eriksson was fooled, but it was out of the zone. The 2-2. Ball hit on the ground to the shortstop, Daniel Sanchez. He stays with it, throws to first, and the inning is over. Another 1-2-3 for Metzger. He's up to his old tricks again. 6 up and 6 down at the end of 2. No score.
Die verrückteste Erfindung dieses Jahrhunderts. Die verrückteste Erfindung dieses Jahrhunderts. Lupus bei 1.
We are back to the top of the third inning. No score, Solingen and Haar. Gabe Sandersis has allowed 2 base runners, a walk, and a double. He has struck out 2. He has not given up a run. Meanwhile, Chris Metzger for the Alligators has given up nada. And it'll be 9-1-2, Selsemeyer, Goetze, and Wolf against Gabe Sandersis here in the third inning of a scoreless tie. David Selsemeyer steps in, and the first pitch to him is a strike, 0-1. Selsemeyer had a very good year this year with the Alligators, hit .341 during the regular season. There's the 0-1 pitch. There's another strike on the outside corner, backdoor slider. Selsemeyer with 12 runs batted in, 1 triple, 4 doubles, 28 hits and 82 at bats. Very good. Only struck out 11 times. Only walked twice, however, so he is a difficult guy to walk. Although that doesn't mean it won't happen. 0-2. And there's a strike 3 breaking ball and a nasty pitch on the outside corner. That one catching a lot of the plate. Dan DeBacco ring. First time, 0 for 1. And here's the pitch to the right-hand hitter. Hit off the end of the bat, a fly ball foul off to the right into the soccer field. For a lucky fan, there's a one-man race going on. There's a kid racing at the top of his speed all the way to get that ball. He doesn't realize there's nobody else after it. Spending unnecessary energy. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2, high fastball. Wolf late on it with a very big swing, uppercut. And Sandersis is 0-2. This one is outside. That was the backdoor breaking ball, but he missed badly with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sandersis shook off a couple of signs from Palacios. Now he has one he likes and he deals. Fastball popped up foul, out of play over our heads. Off to the right. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sandersis using that fastball up in the zone. That's pretty much textbook. You want to go soft, down and away, fastball up and in. That's the same thing Metzger's doing. There's the 1-2. This one bounces in there. Sandersis overthrowing that one, and the count is now even, 2-2. I would say there are almost exactly as many people here today as there were yesterday, probably around 300. And the fans get to sit in the shade. And there's a nice breeze. It's really, really pleasant. It's not quite as hot as it was yesterday. It's around 31 degrees today. Yesterday it was 35. There's a 2-2 pitch to Wolf. Swing and a miss. The ball in the dirt blocked by Palacios. He's going to throw to first base. In time. Stefan with a long stretch to receive that throw, and Gabe Sandersius strikes out the side. He has struck out 5 in the game. We are through 3, scoreless.
So, Freunde, jetzt geht's weiter. Schön, dass wieder am Platz steht. Unsere Nummer 1
We're back for the bottom of the 3rd inning. No score in the game. Chris Metzger and Gabe Sandersius locking horns so far for the first 3 in this one. Metzger has pitched 2 perfect innings. And he's going to face 7, 8, 9, Lucas Steinlein, Bruno Auernhammer, and Klaus Nicolici, the designated hitter. Here's the first pitch to Steinlein. Fastball at the knees, strike 1. Metzger has had a direct lane from his right hand to that outside corner of the plate so far in the early going. He has not thrown a lot of pitches. Nothing in 1 to Steinlein. Fastball is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Marcus Stritzek in left field is playing way off the line. Goetze is shallow in center field, and the right fielder Brookmeyer is also shallow for Steinlein. There's a 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 is called, fastball. Lucas Steinlein during the regular year batted .250, did have a home run, 19 runs batted in, 2 triples, 2 doubles, 23 hits in 92 at bats. Breaking ball, hit in the air to right center field. This is blowing to Sasha Brookmeyer, who comes in and makes the one-handed catch. There's 1 out. That ball looked to me off the bat. It looked like it was headed to center field, and then right at that moment, a breeze really kicked up. And everything is blowing in and to the right, towards the right field line. And Brookmeyer, playing shallow, had to come in to his left diagonally towards the first base bag to make that catch. So now Bruno Auernhammer. Bruno Auernhammer, the last time the Disciples faced Metzger, was the only man to reach base. There's a strike to him. That was in the Game 4 clincher for the Alligators last year. Metzger allowed one base runner in a complete game shutout, and Auernhammer fouls it away. He's behind 0-2. Auernhammer grounded a single up the middle in the 6th or 7th inning, I believe it was, and that was it. Otherwise, Metzger would have had a perfect game. And he's been perfect so far here through 2 1/3. He's 0-2 on Bruno Auernhammer. And the fastball is outside, and that time it was Selsemeyer's turn to do the little foxtrot to the left, expecting a strike call, but not getting it. 1-2. Swung on, and Bruno Auernhammer just got a piece of that pitch, fouled it to the screen. Count still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dominic Wolf is playing deep, but shaded towards the line. There's a pretty big hole between Wolf and Sanchez. Sanchez is playing deep short. Sanchez, however, has great range. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bruno Auernhammer. Popped up again. Bruno fouled off a number of pitches. Stays alive. Auernhammer during the regular year batted .240 in limited playing time, 12 hits and 50 at-bats. And he grounds one to the first baseman, Hughes. It kicks off his glove and goes behind him in right field. Auernhammer reaches, and my guess is that will be an E3. But I'll await the final scoring. It's an E3. Ground ball that Hughes backed up on, and it hit off the heel of his glove, and it bounded high up into the air and into right field. So Dustin Hughes commits an error, and that's the first base runner for the Haar Disciples, Bruno Auernhammer. And now Klaus Nicolici, the number 9 hitter, the designated hitter. With Auernhammer on first. Nicolici this year batted .333. That's exactly 8 for 24. 7 singles and a double. He came up with some big pinch hits. He was mostly a role player, came in as a pinch hitter late in games. But he came up with some big hits against tough pitchers in tough spots. And he's in one again now. Auernhammer on first, a very short lead. Metzger deals. Fastball, strike called over the outside corner, 0-1. After Nicolici barring the double play, the top of the order, Richard Klein will be up. Metzger comes set. And the pitch. This one is away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nicolici did walk 6 times in 31 plate appearances. Although with Metzger, who only walked 9 all year, it's not much of a chance of that. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming to him. Swung on and tapped. Weakly on the third base side of the mound. Metzger fields it, throws to first in time. However, Auernhammer will take second base on the play. And Mitch Stefan is going to come out and argue that maybe it was a foul ball. Dan DiBacco didn't make any call. Ball bouncing the plate, Nicolici running right away. Metzger picked it up and threw to first. And it looks like Dan DiBacco is actually going to go and check with the umpires. So there's going to be a meeting on the mound. So this will be deciding whether this is a foul ball for a strike or it's an out. So Patrick Meister, Mark Major, and Dan DiBacco, it's, 3 people saw it, so it's going to be a 2-1 vote most likely, unless it's unanimous. But I didn't see anything that indicated foul ball. Nicolici ran right away, although he's gone back and grabbed a bat. What's the call? So the call is out. So it is not a foul ball. So that's what we thought originally. So Nicolici is out. Auernhammer's on second base. And Richard Klein, who popped out his first time, is going to come up with Bruno Auernhammer representing the game's first run. Out on second base. But Chris Metzger is not a guy who allows too many opportunities for you to score against him. This is one. If Auernhammer can come around and score somehow, it would be huge. The pitch. Swung on and popped up to short right field. This is playable. Brookmeyer racing in. The second baseman, Hartkup, and Brookmeyer missed the ball, and Auernhammer's going to score. Miscommunication between Brookmeyer and Nils Hartkup. Hartkup was calling for it. Brookmeyer was racing in behind him, and it looked like Hartkup called for it at the last minute, and neither one caught it. Bruno Auernhammer scores. The Disciples lead 1-0 on a pop fly that drops in, and it's going to be an error. So that's an unearned run, but who cares for the Disciples? I think it's going to be an E4. An error has already been put up on the board. It is 1-0 Haar. So the Alligators defense has failed Metzger here in the third inning. And here's Palacios. Fastball, strike called over the outside corner, 0-1. Auernhammer reached on the error by Dustin Hughes. Went to second on that little ground ball by Nicolici. And scored on the error in the outfield. And a throw to first, Klein is back. I'm not sure if it was an error on Hartkup or Brookmeyer. I'm guessing it's going to be Hartkup because it was Hartkup's ball really all the way. Remember I mentioned the wind is blowing everything towards the right field line. That could have also played a factor in this. One strike to Palacios. And now two as Metzger nails the outside corner with another fastball. So Chris Metzger trying to work through a couple of errors. There's the 0-2, foul to the screen. And I've just been informed that actually that was not an error. The play that Klein hit that ball into right field, that's been scored a base hit. So you give him an RBI. The run, however, is still unearned. The scoreboard had 2 errors on the board, but that was incorrect. So it's a base hit, first base hit for the Disciples. A little pop fly for Klein. There's the 0-2 pitch coming to Palacios. Breaking ball, and he waves and misses strike 3. That was a nasty pitch breaking away from Palacios, and he chased it for strike 3. The inning is over. However, no runs on 1 hit, 1 left on base, 1 error, or 1 run on 1 hit, rather. At the end of 3, it is Haar 1, Solingen 0. Welcome back to the top of the 4th inning. Solingen and Haar in game 2. Haar getting an unearned run in the bottom of the 3rd inning. An error by Dustin Hughes allowed Bruno Auernhammer to reach, and he came around to score on a pop fly single off the bat of Richard Klein, a ball that really should have been caught in the outfield but was not. And so Gabe Sendersis has to be thinking, well, there's his run. Here's Tanner Layton to lead things off for the Alligators. First pitch, swinging, and he lines it. Diving stop by Klein, to his feet, throws to first, in the dirt. Stefan scooped it, and the out is recorded. A great play by Richard Klein, robbing Tanner Layton of a base hit. Richard Klein dove headlong to his right, gloved it at the end of his glove, went to his feet, his throw was low, and Mitch Stefan, who is one of the best at scooping low throws, scooped it. And it was just barely in time to get Tanner Layton. One pitch, one out. And now Daniel Sanchez. Layton is now 0 for 2. Sanchez struck out looking in the first inning. And the breaking ball is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. It is 1-0 Haar on an RBI single by Klein. There's 0-1. Fastball is strike 2, 0-2. Gabe Sandersis came into the inning having thrown 50 pitches. And you better believe he's thinking if they're going to win, they're going to try to win it 1-0. This ball popped up high in the air to right center field. Auernhammer and Erickson. Auernhammer calling for it. Makes the catch. 2 quick outs. The number 3 and 4 hitters are disposed of by Sandersis, and now Niels Hartkopf, who flied out his first time. Two outs, nobody on base. There's the pitch from Sandersis. Swung on, tapped, weakly fouled on the third baseline. Hartkopf batted .260 this year. He did have 1 home run, as I mentioned, in that large ballpark in Solingen. You don't see too many home runs flying out of there. And there's a breaking ball, a beauty. Drops in at the knees on the inside corner, 0-2. The next pitch will be the 7th pitch of the inning, and there are 2 outs and nobody on. There's the 0-2 pitch to Hartkopf. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gabe Sandersis blows away Niels Hartkopf with a high fastball, and has a 1-2-3 inning, what some could describe as a shutdown inning. He has 6 strikeouts through 4. At the end of 3.5, it is Haar 1, Solingen 0.
Die verrückte Fertigung des Jahrhunderts. Loopings bei England.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 4th inning. Haar with a 1-0 lead. Both teams with only 1 hit in the game. It's been all about the pitchers so far in this one. Metzger gave up a pop fly single after the error to Hughes, and that led to an unearned run. And the Disciples have to be thinking, well, they're going to have to try and make that hold up. Metzger does not give you many chances. He's going to face 3, 4, 5, Kristen Ziegler, Josh Peterson, and Mitch Stefan. First pitch to Ziegler, driven in the air to center field. Florian Gutze is moving a few steps to his left. He's going to make an easy catch with the wind blowing that ball back in. 1 pitch, 1 out. Ziegler is now 0 for 2. That'll bring up Josh Peterson. Peterson grounded out very weakly to the pitcher his first time. Metzger entering this inning had only thrown 37 pitches. We have had 1 great defensive play. That was the diving stop by Richard Klein, robbing Tanner Layton of a base hit last inning. There's the pitch to Josh. Fastball, strike at the knees. Automatic, 0-1. Solingen stranded a runner in the first and stranded a runner in the second. Sandersis has pitched perfect third and fourth innings. There's a big breaking ball. It dropped in, strike two. Nasty pitch from Metzger. Here comes the 0-2. Slow curve lined up the middle. Leighton to his, that's Hardcup, gloves it to his right, throws to first in time. Josh waiting on that breaking ball. And hit it hard, but Nils Hardcup making a nice play, ranging to his right to make the play. Look at the replay. Breaking ball with 2 strikes. Josh does not run well, and Hardcup having a lot of time to get that ball over to first base. It's a 2 up and 2 down. And here's Mitch Stefan. Second time through the order for the Disciples against Mr. Metzger. And this ball hits slowly on the ground to the second baseman, Hardcup. He's got lots of time to make the play, and he does. Inning is over. Another very quick inning for Metzger. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 4 complete, Haar 1, Solingen nothing. Welcome back to the top of the 5th inning. The Haar Disciples leading the Solingen Alligators by a score of 1-0. And Solingen will send 6, 7, 8 Sasha Brockmeyer, Dustin Hughes, and Marcus Stritzek up against Gabe Sandersius. Sandersius entering this inning has thrown 57 pitches. He had a very quick inning last inning. And the first pitch to Brockmeyer is swung on and popped up foul. That's going to blow over the screen off to the right, out of play, strike 1. Brockmeyer roped a double on the only other pitch he saw in the game. And he was actually cut down on that rundown play after the 3rd strike wild pitch against Marcus Stritzek. So he actually made the 3rd out of the 2nd inning. No balls and a strike to Sasha. Swings and foul tips that one back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. Gabe has struck out 6, walked 1, given up 1 hit. Haar scoring an unearned run in the 3rd inning on an RBI single by Richard Klein, driving home Bruno Auernhammer. Breaking ball hit off the end of the bat to shallow left field. Long run for Steinlein. He's over there, and he makes the catch. Brockmeyer was out in front of the pitch and hit it off the end of the bat. Remember, the wind is blowing everything in. And Steinlein had to run a long way to get that ball as it was being blown away from him. But he made the catch, and there's the first out here in the 5th. That'll bring up Dustin Hughes, who flied out to center field his first time. First pitch to Hughes. Strike called at the knees on the outside corner, 0-1. That's been that lane both Metzger and Sandersius have been using to get ahead of the hitters. 0-1 on Dustin Hughes, right-hand hitter. And that one's right in there, 0-2. Hughes looked like he was looking for something else on that. Hughes takes a moment to think about it, steps out of the box. Now he's back in there. No balls, 2 strikes. There's the pitch from Sandorsius. Slow curve, and that one was way high and outside, 1-2. Top of the 5th inning, 1 out, nobody on base. A hot, breezy afternoon, August the 9th, here in Munich. There's the 1-2 pitch to Hughes. Swung on and missed in the dirt. Nice block from Palacios. The throw to first is in time. That is strikeout number 7 for Gabe Sandorsius. Remember, he struck out 14 against the Alligators last year. They've been chasing that pitch down and away, but that's also been the result of the fact that Sandorsius has been establishing his fastball low in the zone for strikes. So now Marcus Stritzek. Stritzek struck out and actually reached first on a wild pitch, but the 3rd out of the inning was recorded with Brookmeyer in that rundown, so he was stranded there. There's the pitch to him. Fly ball, well hit to right field. Erickson going back. He's got a play. Stops short of the warning track and makes the catch to his glove side after twisting around. 1 pitch, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. Another quick inning for Gabe Sandorsius, and that is in fact 10 in a row retired by Gabe Sandorsius. We are through 4.5. It is 1-0 Haar.
Servus Ingrid, ja, kannst du bisschen erzählen über die schöne
Zum
Zeug?
Beispiel das Trainingsshirt für die Kinder oder für die Erwachsenen.
For kids and
Sieht man
adults.
genauso aus wie die Herren 1 im Training.
Looks exactly like the first men's Bundesliga team. In training, what else we got here? We got,
Oder
gelb-schwarz.
gelb-schwarze Jacke mit Disciples Day.
Yeah, it's got like a vintage retro look to it. That's pretty cool.
Ja.
We also have hats.
Und dann
Right, where are the hats? Caps and okay, let's take a look at these. Oh, there's also sunflower seeds. Yeah, schöne Mützen. This is the old-fashioned one, right?
ja.
Yeah. And there's even a mirror. Hey. All kinds of good stuff. Yeah, the Disciples jerseys. This is a very impromptu little commercial we're doing here. Thank you, Sepp. This is soft shell jacket. Thank you, Sepp, for the information.
Hoodie.
The hoodie. We got the hoodie.
Majestic Hoodie.
Ah, yeah, majestic hoodie. Nice. This is a nice hoodie.
Is it also a hoodie but only with a sweater?
We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Both Chris Metzger and Gabe Sandorsius have brought their A game today. Metzger, the only blemish, an unearned run. It was really the defense of the Alligators that let him down. Metzger really could be still pitching a perfect game at this point, but he is not, and Haar is leading 1-0 on the strength of an RBI pop fly single off the bat of Richard Klein. It'll be Erickson, Steinlein, and Auernhammer against Metzger here in the 5th, and the first pitch to Ty Erickson. A slow breaking ball, and it's too high. 1 ball, no strikes. That pitch had Erickson completely fooled, but it was up too high. There's the 1-0. That one is low, 2 balls and no strikes, and that, as I look at my scorecard, is the first time in the ballgame that Metzger has fallen behind any hitter 2 balls. He has not been to a 3-ball count on anyone. There's the 2-0. There's a fastball strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, any manager or pitcher really will tell you the most important thing you can do as a pitcher is just throw strikes. And that's the thing that makes Metzger so tough. He does it so consistently, and he seems to be able to do it whenever he wants. He did it there. Count as 2 balls and 2 strikes now. That's always the question. Right, Metzger not only throws strikes, but he brings it in there with some juice on it. It's got movement, and he's got those tough off-speed pitches. 2-2. Ground ball weakly hit to the right side. Nils Harpkopf gets a big hop and stays with it, throws to first. And Erickson is out. It was a tougher play than it looked for Harpkopf. That ball hit something in the dirt right before it got to him. And the last hop was bigger than the previous 2. But he kept his body in front of it, was in perfect position to field the ball, and was able to use his hands to glove it and throw to first. So there's one out. Another ground ball out for Metzger. That's the 9th one of the game already. Here's Lucas Steinlein, who flew out his first time. Swing and a miss, strike one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We're in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Haar. Steinlein tries to bunt, and he pops it up over the screen, and in fact over the trees and over everything. And he's behind 0-2. Not a bad idea. Dominic Wolf, the third baseman, is playing way back. Steinlein is a pretty good bunter. He has successfully executed the squeeze a few times this year. Going with the stripy sock look, as he almost always does, Steinlein. No balls and 2 strikes. He won't be bunting here. And the fastball missed the outside corner. Selsemeyer was set up out there. And Metzger hit the glove, but Dan DeBacco not buying it. 1-2. Slow breaking ball, a soft fly ball towards short right field, and Hartkopf can't make the catch. It drops in for a base hit, and it kicks past the right fielder for a moment, but Steinlein wisely decides to hold up and stay put at first base. And that's a pop fly single. That's the second hit, but they all count. Again, that lane to right field, the wind is wreaking havoc on almost everything. That ball wasn't in the air really long enough for that to have probably been much of a factor. Breaking ball, Steinlein just trying to protect, put bat on ball, and hit it into no man's land. Even though Brookmeyer was playing very shallow, he was still unable to get to that little humpback line drive. So Steinlein is at first, and Bruno Auernhammer the hitter. Steinlein with average speed, average size lead as well. And he is going, the pitch taken, strike, and the throw from Selsemeyer is not in time. So Steinlein takes second base. Take a look at the replay. Fastball right down the middle. Selsemeyer bounced the throw, is received by Hartkopf. And Steinlein slid in safely. So there's the game's second run with 1 out. Auernhammer gonna try and drive him in. There's the 0-1. Fly ball towards right field. Going back on it, Brookmeyer. He's going to pull up in the warning track area to make the catch. Steinlein tags to draw the throw and will not advance. Off the bat, it looked for a moment like that ball might drop in, but then Brookmeyer turned on the jets and ran back into the alleyway. He actually was not really anywhere near the warning track, like I originally said. Auernhammer flies out. There are 2 down, and now Klaus Nikolici looking for a 2-out hit to drive home Steinlein. No runs on 1 hit and 1 error for the Alligators. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors for the Disciples. It's a very sparsely populated scoreboard out there in center field. A lot of 0s and 1s. Looks like binary code. Steinlein is out on second base. Nikolici grounded weakly back to the pitcher his first time. He's the number 9 hitter. Big hole on the right side between Hartkopf and Hughes. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Klaus, who has power, native of Romania, but he has told me that he changed his approach this year and he tries to really work more on contact, and that's what the Disciples would love to see here. There's the 0-1. Steinlein going for third, swing and a miss. The throw to third base is off the glove of Hughes, trickles away. Steinlein coming to the plate, he is going to score! It is 2-0. That's going to be a stolen base and an error. Lucas Steinlein comes all around. The ball got away. I said Hughes. It was off the glove of Wolf and trickled to Sanchez, who also couldn't find the handle. Let's take a look at that. You can see Steinlein take off. Metzger wasn't paying any attention to him whatsoever. Pitch was swung on and missed for strike 2. And the ball trickled off the glove of Wolf. Steinlein got up and ran home. So yesterday, the aggressive base running of the Disciples did not pay off. Today, it has paid off. Lucas Steinlein stealing second, stealing third, and scoring on what has to be an error, although I have not seen an error on the scoreboard. I'll let you know later what happens with that. The pitch, Nikolici takes a fastball right down the middle for strike 3, and the inning is over. However, Lucas Steinlein creates a run by blooping a single, stealing 2 bases, and scoring on an error. 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left on base. I'm going to write that there was an error. I have not seen the official score yet. At the end of 5, it is Haar 2, Solingen nothing.
Die verrückteste Erfindung dieses Jahrhunderts. Die verrückteste Erfindung dieses Jahrhunderts. Loopings bei 1.
Nummer 31, der Alligators Catcher, David Selden.
Welcome back to the top of the 6th inning. Solingen and Haar in game 2. This game moving right along. We started at 1 p.m. It is now 2:23. There's a ground ball hit to the shortstop, Ziegler. He's going to throw to first in time. One down. Selsemeyer grounds out. First pitch, swinging. David Selsemeyer grounds out to Ziegler, and there's one gone. Here in the 6th inning, it'll be Selsemeyer, and then the top of the order now, Florian Goetze, Dominic Wolf. It has been scored an E5, so the throw to third base went off the glove of Wolf. And so Wolf has been charged with an error. That's the second error for the Alligators in the game. And in fact, both runs, by my estimation, are unearned. Here's Florian Goetze. Goetze walked and struck out, pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Sandersis entered the inning having thrown only 65 pitches. Very good position for him. He's had 3 perfect innings in a row. He has retired 11 batters in a row. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball strike on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Gabe Sandersis has struck out 7. He has allowed just the 1 hit. That was the double to Brockmeyer back in the 2nd inning. It is 2-0 Haar, the pitch. A little bit low. That looked like the backdoor breaking ball. It was down. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, the fans have been treated to some good pitching so far in this one. There's a swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch. Good's way out in front. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the energy level is picking up, as is the wind. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one in the dirt, full count.
Let's go defense.
Full count to Florian Goetze. He's had another one of those today. The pitch. That one's ball 4. So Goetze is on for the 2nd time via the walk. And that's the 2nd walk that Sandersis has also issued. So he's there with 1 out, and now Dominic Wolf will step up to the plate. Gabe not happy with himself after issuing that walk. That breaks the string of 11 consecutive batters that he had retired. Dominic Wolf looking down the third baseline to Norman Eberhardt, getting the sign. There's 1 out. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Haar with a 2-0 lead. The tying run, Dominic Wolf will step to the plate. Wolf has popped out and struck out. Goetze with a short lead off first. And a throw to first. Goetze is back. Goetze, when he was on base in the 1st inning, did not get a good read on Sandersis' move. This might be a running situation for him, however. Gabe comes set. And a little lob toss over to first. That was not the real good Gabe Sandersis move. That was more the, that might have been actually a move to first to see if Dominic Wolf would show bunt, but with 1 out, I don't think he'll be bunting. Wind really picks up. Pitch inside. 1 ball and no strikes. That was a fastball from Sandersis. And Gabe comes set. 1 ball, no strikes to Dominic Wolf. Line drive, center field. Auernhammer is going to make the catch. That ball hit very hard, but Bruno raced in about 3 steps and was able to glove it. 2 down. Let's look at that on the replay. Wolf hit it very hard. It looked like it was a fastball. Out over the plate and got good wood on it, but did not get any lift on it to get it over Auernhammer's head. So 2 outs, and now Tanner Layton, another dangerous man. Layton, one of the home run threats for the Alligators. He represents the tying run. He is 0 for 2, hit the ball hard. His last time was robbed by Richard Klein. Florian Goetze, the runner on first base. And the pitch, breaking ball inside. Ball 1. Florian Goetze at that time was going back to first base. He thought Sandersis was going to throw to first. And Gabe, I think, is upset that he did not get that strike call. He takes a little walk behind the mound. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Tanner Layton, native of, check my notes, I think he's a native of Idaho, if I remember correctly. Meridian, Idaho, another throw to first base. Yep, Layton, who is from Meridian, Idaho, played the Frontier League in the U.S. Played with Solingen since 2013. He's also played in Australia. He was last year's best batter in the North. 1-0 the count to him. And now 2-0 as Sandersis misses. Low and inside. Goetze, no signs of running on the left-hander Sandersis from first. With 2 outs and the tying run in Layton at the plate, this would be a bad time to get thrown out stealing. Gabe comes set. There's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and Layton was going for the tie. And he comes up empty, 2 balls and 1 strike. This could be a key moment in the game. We're in the 6th. Gabe comes set, Goetze leading off first. And the pitch. Swung on, grounded, foul, strike 2. And the count now even. 2 balls and 2 strikes with Florian Goetze on first base. Now with 2 strikes, you might see Goetze take off. Norman Eberhard not giving any signs. Goetze might be on his own. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Layton. And the pitch. Breaking ball is away, and the count now full, and now Goetze will definitely be running. So if Layton were to find a gap somewhere, Goetze might be able to score. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Goetze with good speed. Stefan's going to play behind him. Sandersis will continue to work from the stretch, however. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes. Fastball is high, ball 4. So Goetze moves to second on the walk. Second walk in the inning, 3rd of the game for Sandersis. And now, Daniel Sanchez will come to the plate. And Mitch and Josh Peterson going to have a quick chat with Gabe Sandersis on the mound. Daniel Sanchez is the cleanup hitter. He's 0 for 2. He struck out looking in the 1st and flied out to center in the 4th. Sandersis has only allowed 1 hit. That was the double to Sasha Brookmeyer back in the 2nd inning. As you see an infield meeting on the mound. Solingen with, to this point, their greatest threat of the game. However, there are 2 outs. So Sandersis only needs to get 1 more out. The tying runs, however, on base in Goetze and Tanner Layton. Good speed. Sanchez, a pesky hitter, puts bat on ball most of the time.
Auf geht's, Gabe Sandersis auf Mount. Wichtige Situation jetzt für die Disciples. Wir brauchen euch. Auf geht's, Burschen!
Sandersis, who retired 11 in a row coming into, well, 10 in a row coming into this inning, got the 1st, and then a walk, and then a flyout, and then another walk. So now Daniel Sanchez with Goetze at 2nd and Layton at 1st. 2 outs. 2-0 Haar, the pitch. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. Sanchez chasing one outside of the zone that faded away from him. Strike 1. Gabe comes set. Runners leading 1st and 2nd. The 0-1. Breaking ball. Strike 2 gets the outside corner. Gabe going with 1st. Looked like the split fingered that Sanchez swung and missed. It was going away from him. That was the breaking ball going towards him. Starting outside and catching the outside corner, and he's ahead 0-2. Let's see if Gabe goes to a fastball. Comes set. Runners leading 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That was a fastball, and it was up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Daniel Sanchez, who is the shortest player on the Alligators, and the strike zone is according to his height. And that pitch was too high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gabe wanted another sign from Palacios. Now he got it. Runners leading first and second. The pitch. Line drive, left field down the line, curling towards the line, but it is foul. That was a breaking ball, I believe, that Sanchez hit off the end of the bat. Let's look at that last pitch from Sandercius. On 1 ball and 2 strikes, a breaking ball that hung, but Sanchez out in front of it pulled off the end of the bat. So the count's still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Steinlein is playing way over in left center field. And Sanchez broke his bat. Had to go to the dugout and get a new one. So he's got a new piece of lumber. Florian Goetze is the runner at second. Tanner Layton is the runner at first. There are 2 outs. It is 2-0 Haar leading. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Gabe comes set. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and a whirl and a look at Goetze, and he scrambles back to the bag. Richard Klein was maybe a few feet away from second base. There's the 1-2. Outside, way outside, Sandercius. Missed that one badly. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gabe, this inning, has struggled more than he did the previous 5. He has walked 2, and he's at a 2-ball, 2-strike count on a very tough hitter, Daniel Sanchez. Goetze and Layton leading off the bases. The pitch. A fly ball to center field. This is playable for Auernhammer. He started back, now he comes in, and he squeezes it. The inning is over. Gabe Sandercius strands 2. Solingen doesn't score. No runs, no hits, 2 left, no errors. At the end of 5.5, it is Haar 2, Solingen nothing. Welcome back to the bottom of the 6th inning. Solingen and Haar. Haar leading 2-0. And it's going to be the top of the order. Richard Klein, Jose Palacios, and Chris Siegler. 1-2-3 against Chris Metzger. Klein popped out in the first and hit a little pop fly that dropped in for an RBI single in the third. That was the game's first run. And then Lucas Steinlein singled, stole 2 bases, and scored on an error last inning. So both Haar runs are unearned. And the pitch, Metzger deals fastball outside, ball 1, Klein showing bunt. Metzger has only allowed 2 runs on the 2 hits, 2 little pop fly singles. The Alligators have also made 2 errors. Gabe Sandercius has only allowed 1 hit. Next pitch, there's a pitch low, fastball low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Gabe Sandercius stranding 2 runners on in the top half of this inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. That one about letter high. 2-1 to Richard Klein leading off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Metzger winds and deals. Ground ball sharply hit up the middle. Sanchez to his left, gloves it, spins, throws to first high, and his throw goes into the Alligators' dugout, and Richard Klein will take second base. That'll be an E6. Daniel Sanchez, normally a very reliable defensive shortstop made a nice play to get that ball. He ranged far to his left, gloved it, and spun, and his throw sailed over Dustin Hughes' head and went into the Alligators dugout on the fly. So an E6, and that's the third Alligators error, and the Disciples are going to try and take advantage of it. Their 2 runs in this game are unearned. So you could say Solingen is beating themselves. Certainly not Metzger's fault. However, in a close game like this, those are the plays that often make the difference. 3 errors for the Alligators. And Klein, leadoff hitters on second base. The infield is back, although I would think Palacios is going to bunt, and he showed bunt. Hughes, who was playing way back, ran in. Dominic Wolf has to stay at third. Pitch was a ball, by the way. Dominic Wolf has to stay and cover third because Klein is going to try to go to third on the bunt. So Palacios wants to bunt the ball towards the third base line and make Wolf field the ball. But it looks like Metzger would be the guy that would cover the ground, and now Palacios calls time. Metzger with a long hold. Richard Klein is on second base. Palacios shows bunt and pulls it back. The pitch is called a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Metzger takes his time putting his foot on the rubber. Now he's looking in for the sign from Selsemeyer. He's got one. Comes set. And a whirl and a throw look behind Klein. I don't know what Daniel Sanchez was doing out there. He was running circles around Richard Klein. Watch Daniel Sanchez. He runs a circle around him, and then Metzger whirls and throws. Sanchez was running to third base. I have no idea what that was. And he does the same thing again. The wheel play is on. That's what that is. Pitch is a strike. And the count is 1-2. And now Palacios. Will he try to bunt with 2 strikes? You might see that actually happen. Metzger is such a tough customer. So I guess the wheel play where Sanchez running around Klein would allow Wolf to charge and field the bunt to third if needed. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off to the right. Normally when there's a runner on second and one team is expecting bunt, the third baseman will hold his ground to receive the throw should it have to come there. Sanchez that time was running to cover third. That would allow Wolf the flexibility to come in and field the bunt. However, with 2 strikes, Palacios is probably not bunting anymore anyway. He fouled off that last pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Nobody out. Klein on second base. Bottom of the 6th. Metzger from the stretch. Looks at Klein, now he deals. Slow curve, line drive off of Metzger into center field, a base hit. Klein is going to be held at third base. And he trips over third base on his way by. Florian Gutze showed off his arm yesterday. So a base hit for Palacios. So they took the bunt off and he lined it right back at Metzger. Looked like it hit Metzger's glove. Let's look at the replay. That ball was hit sharply by Jose Palacios. It was a breaking ball. It hit Metzger in the glove. And Klein, who had to hold up on the line drive, makes it to third and no further. That's the third base hit for the Disciples. And now they have a real chance. They have runners on first and third. And their 3, 4, 5 hitters, Chris Ziegler, Josh Peterson, and Mitch Stefan coming up. They lead this game 2-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The infield will play back and look for a double play. It looks like. Dominic Wolf is at the edge of the grass at third. The rest of the infielders are back looking for 2. Ziegler looking to drive one, get a run home. And he swings and foul tips the first pitch, strike 1. Metzger has only struck out 2. He is someone who is certainly capable of high strikeout totals. But only with the 2 in the game, although the Disciples have not hit very many balls hard off of him. 1 strike to Ziegler. Palacios with almost no lead off first, not going. Swing and a miss as Metzger pulls the string. And Ziegler out in front 0-2. And Metzger, you know he wants that strikeout with the runner at third and less than 2 out. In fact, there's nobody out. 0-2 to Chris Ziegler. And now Sanchez creeps in at short. Fastball is high. That was a show-me pitch from Metzger. A lot of times with 2 strikes, the pitcher will throw a hard fastball high and try to get the hitter to chase. Ziegler not biting that time. That was looked like probably a 4-seamer from Metzger. So the count is 1-2. Palacios off first, Klein off third. There's nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Metzger tried to hold up, but he went way too far, and that's going to be strike 3. Dan DiBacco asking Patrick Meister for help, but actually probably didn't need to. That's the 3rd strikeout, so Metzger gets the first out of the inning via his 3rd strikeout of the game. We look at the replay. It was a fastball up, just like I described, and Ziegler couldn't hold up. So here is Josh Peterson. Peterson 0 for 2. He's got ducks on the pond. Klein is at 3rd. Palacios is on first, 1 out. Peterson is a double play candidate, however. And Metzger comes set. And he pops it up. Short right center field, going out Sanchez and Hartkup, and it drops! And Klein's going to come to the plate. However, the force at second base is not in time. Oh, Klein did not come home to the plate. So the run does not score, but everybody's safe. The run moves up. It was a pop fly. Again, the wind wreaking havoc on anything. A little pop fly. Peterson reaches first. Palacios had to hold up because he thought the ball was going to be caught, as did just about everybody else. Daniel Sanchez, I think, was the closest one to that ball, and he ran all the way from shortstop. Hartkup was backpedaling, misjudged it. Palacios dove in. It was Hughes trying to cover the bag, late covering the bag, and another mistake by the Alligators. It's going to go as a base hit, but that's a ball that has to be caught. And so now the bases are loaded, and Mitch Stefan is the hitter. So Metzger not getting much help from his defense in this game. He's trailing only 2-0, however. Mitch Stefan with the bases loaded and 1 out. Klein, Palacios, and Peterson, the base runners, swing and a miss, strike 1 on a fastball. Stefan is 0 for 2. Mitch laid on a fastball. Metzger probably thinking he's going to have to do it all himself and dial up the strikeout pitch. No balls and 1 strike to Mitch Stefan. And a fly ball to right field. Brookmeyer backpedaling. He makes the catch. Klein is going to try and score. Here's the throw. Nope, Klein's going to go back. Meanwhile, Palacios was off second base. The throw behind him is not in time. And Klein wisely holding up. He would have been probably dead. So the fly ball from Stefan. Remember the wind blowing in very hard. And I think without the wind, that ball might have been deep enough to score a run. However, with this wind and this conditions, it was not. Klein has to stay put, and now it's going to take a 2-out hit. Metzger, who had runners on first and third with nobody out, has now worked his way to 2/3 out of the inning without having a run scored. Every fly ball has been an adventure. And so Ty Erickson, who's 0 for 2. Metzger almost out of the jam. The pitch. Fastball strike at the letters of the outside corner, 0-1. The inning began with Richard Klein reaching on an E6. Daniel Sanchez threw the ball into the Alligators' dugout. And then a single from Palacios. Ziegler struck out. Peterson blooped a single that really should have been caught. And now the base is loaded. 1 strike to count to Ty Erickson. Metzger comes set. Swung on ground ball to the shortstop. Sanchez gloves it, throws to first, high, and it goes to the backstop. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. Erickson to second, Peterson to third. It is 4-0 Haar. Second throwing error of the inning by Daniel Sanchez. And all of the Haar runs are unearned. He made a good play to backhand that ground ball off the bat of Ty Erickson. But In his haste, he overthrew the first baseman Hughes again. The ball went into the dugout. He first looked to second base, and Hartkopf wasn't covering second. That's also a mistake for Hartkopf, you could argue. Sanchez was going to go to second to try to get the force and looked and saw nobody there. So he had to hurry his throw to first base, and he threw it into the dugout, and the Disciples lead 4-0. So now, with runners on second and third, Norman Eberhardt has come out to the mound, but it has not been a pretty defensive display by the Alligators in this game. They've made 4 errors, but there were 2 other balls that should have been caught that landed for hits. You could very easily make the case that there should be 6 errors in the game. All of the runs that Chris Metzger, as far as I know, are unearned, because if Sanchez makes that play, that's the 3rd out of the inning, and no runs would have scored. As it is, Peterson is at 3rd, Erickson is at 2nd, and Lucas Steinlein, the hitter. And the Haar fans are alive. They lead 4-0 the pitch. Fastball outside, ball 1. Metzger has only given up 4 hits. He has not walked a batter. One ball and no strikes to Steinlein. This one is outside, 2-0. Metzger is up around 80 pitches now. He came into this inning, I believe it was 57. 2 balls, no strikes to Lucas Steinlein. Runners on second, third. And a line drive to right field, and it's going to be caught with a nice diving play by Sasha Brockmeyer, who charged in to catch that line drive that was sinking and tailing to his left. So the inning is over as Steinlein lines out to right, but the Disciples score 1, 2. 2 more runs on 2 hits. There were 2 left on base. There were 2 errors. And at the end of 6, it is Haar 4, Solingen nothing. We're back to the top of the 7th inning. Haar leading this game 4-0. And Gabe Sandursis is going to go to work against 5, 6, and 7. Nils Hartkopf, Sasha Brockmeyer, and Dustin Hughes. Sandursis has been given a 4-run cushion. He's only allowed 1 run. He has walked 3. He struck out 7. And Nils Hartkopf steps in, 0 for 2. This one way outside. That one slipped out of Sandursis' hand as he looks back at his left hand. After that delivery, ball 1 on Hartkopf. Hartkopf flied out and struck out. It is 4-0 Haar. We are in the 7th. There's a fly ball, left field. Steinlein moving over and back. Shading his eyes from the sun. He can't find it, and the ball lands And Hartkopf rounding first, heading to second base. He'll be in there with a double. Steinlein lost that ball in the sun. Ball was hit off the handle of the bat by Hartkopf. And you can see Steinlein putting his hands out, had no idea where it was. This is a tough sun field in the outfield. As you've seen, the Alligators struggle with a ball, every ball in the outfield. And this time it was Lucas Steinlein's turn. So that's going to go as a double. Second hit allowed for Gabe Sandersis. And a good beginning for the Alligators. That will bring up Sasha Brookmeyer. Brookmeyer has doubled and flied out 1 for 2. So Hartkopf with a fly ball double that Steinlein lost in the sun. Gabe Sandersis getting his sign from Palacios. Now he wants Palacios to go through the signs again. Now he's got one he likes. Here's the pitch to Sasha Brookmeyer. Coming right now. Ground ball slowly hit past Sandersis. Ziegler hits it off his glove, picks it up, has no play. And runners are on first and third. A slow ground ball off the bat of Brookmeyer, and Ziegler had it hit off the heel of his glove. And that'll be an error. First error for the Disciples. So we've had 5 errors in the game. 4 from Solingen and now 1 for the Disciples. See Ziegler had it hit off his glove, and by the time he picked it up, he had no play. He probably would have had to rush his throw. The ball was hit very slowly, so runners on first and third for Dustin Hughes, and here come the Alligators. It is 4-0 Haar, but that lead right now very much in jeopardy. Runners on first and third. Gabe Sandersis going to toe the rubber. Sandersis had thrown 88 pitches entering this inning. And here is Hughes, who is 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. A throw to first. And Brookmeyer was almost fooled, but he was so close to the bag to begin with that he was able to get his left foot in there. Patrick Meister with the call. And now the dueling fan tandems. There's the first pitch on the way, another throw to first. And Brookmeyer is back again. This game has much more energy to it than the one yesterday. Solingen trying to mount the comeback. Gabe comes set, runners leading first and third. Nobody out. The first pitch to Hughes. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So now Gabe has to feel a little bit frustrated. First the pop fly that Steinlein lost in the sun. Falls in for a double for Hartkopf. And then the error from Ziegler. He has to be thinking he could very well have had 2 outs already. 1 strike to Dustin Hughes. This one in the dirt, a good block from Palacios. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sasha Brookmeyer is on first. Nils Hartkopf is on third. Gabe Sandersis slowing down his pace. He is trying to make sure he throws the right pitch. Dustin Hughes with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Brookmeyer with almost no lead off first. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One ball and 2 strikes. Sandersis with runners on works much more slowly than he does without. Although in a game like this, he wants to be absolutely sure. Here's the 1-2 to Hughes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First base is occupied, so Hughes is out. No throw necessary. There's 1 out. That looked like the breaking ball down and in. Strikeout number 8 for Sandersis. And here is Marcus Stritzek. Stritzek has struck out and flied out. Runners still on first and third, 1 out. We're in the top of the 7th inning. There's the first pitch to Stritzek. Hit off the fist, a soft fly ball to short center field. Auernhammer coming over, and he makes the catch. And he comes up firing the ball to the plate, and the runners have to stay put. 2 outs. And now Gabe, who started the inning with runners on first and third, can get out of it without allowing a run if he can get David Selsemeyer, his former catcher. Selsemeyer was the personal catcher of Sandersis last year when he played in Haar. And so 2 outs, runners on first and third. Brockmeyer stayed put at first, and Hartkopf on third base. Did not want to test the arm of Auernhammer. Remember, Auernhammer pitched the last 3 innings of yesterday's game. So here is David Selsemeyer, the number 9 hitter, trying to drive home a run with 2 outs. And a throw to first, and Brockmeyer was leaning the wrong way, but as I mentioned before, his lead is so small that it doesn't really matter if he's fooled as long as he can change directions as Sandersis releases the ball. Brockmeyer on first, Nils Hartkopf on third. Gabe comes set, and he comes to Selsemeyer. In the dirt, good block by Palacios, ball 1. Sandersis now at 95 pitches. Runners on first and third, 1 ball to count to Selsemeyer. Throw to first again, Brockmeyer. Basically standing on the base this time. He appears to be laughing about it with Mitch Stefan. Still 1 ball, no strikes to count to David Selsemeyer. Runners leading first and third. 2 outs, the pitch. Fastball is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. If Selsemeyer could extend the inning, Florian Götze, the leadoff hitter, is on deck. Gabe is working very deliberately. Now he comes set, 2-0. And he missed outside. 3 balls and no strikes. As I mentioned, Selsemeyer, tough guy to walk. He only walked 2 times all year. But he's ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. And there's a strike on the outside corner, 3-1. Gabe getting that fastball in there at the knees. Selsemeyer taking all the way. Sascha Brockmeyer, the runner on first. Nils Hartkopf, the runner on third. 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Haar leading 4-0 to pitch. Fly ball right field down the line, tailing, and it's going to squirt foul off to the right, and the count now full. 3-2, and that will give Sascha Brockmeyer a running start. And Mitch Stefan is going to go play behind the runner. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and third. Top of the 7th inning of a tense ball game. Haar leading 4-0, but no lead seems like enough against the Solingen Alligators. 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch, but Selsemeyer asks for time. Sandersis was holding the ball for a long time, kicks the dirt off of his right shoe, and a reset. Runners on first and third. Florian Götze is on deck. Hartkopf is at third. Brockmeyer is at first. A full count to David Selsemeyer. And Sandersis is set. The payoff pitch. Fly ball again down the right field line. Long run for Eriksson, racing over, and he reaches out and he can't get it. It's a fair ball. Hartkopf comes home to score. Racing around is Brockmeyer. He will score. The play is not in time. It's a 2-run double for David Selsemeyer, and it's a 4-2 game. Well, the 3-2 count made a difference because it was fairly close at the plate with Brockmeyer, but because he had a running start, he's able to score. David Selsemeyer drives in 2 with a fly ball double down the right field line. Just fair. Eriksson started over and then had to go back, and he actually overran the ball and reached behind him, and the ball went behind him and to the wall. So now Selsemeyer is at second base. It is a 4-2 game, and the pop fly double and the error loom large as both of those runners have come around to score. And now Florian Götze, the tying run, steps up to the plate. Götze 0 for 1 with 2 walks. And a breaking ball, strike 1. The inning began with Nils Hartkopf hitting a little fly ball to left field. Looked catchable, but then Steinlein just completely lost the ball in the sun. landed for a double. And Brookmeyer reached on Siegler's error. And a strikeout, a flyout, and now a pop fly double to right field. And this fastball is outside. Sanders just wants to know where it was. Dan DeBacco saw it as outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And in this close a ball game, the noise level begins to increase. 1 ball and 1 strike. Selsemeyer in second base, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Gabe up over 100 pitches now. Out there in the heat. It is another hot day, around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. So the left-hander's done it before. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Florian Goodson. Selsemeyer takes off for third. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Yes, baby!
So the inning is over, but not before Solingen gets 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 left on base, 1 error. One of those runs is unearned. And at the end of 6.5, it is Haar 4, Solingen 2.
Die verrückteste Erfindung dieses Jahrhunderts. Die verrückteste Erfindung dieses Jahrhunderts. Loopings bei 1.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning. Tight ball game. Haar leading Solingen by a score of 4-2. And Chris Metzger is going to go back to work, and he's going to deal with 8, 9, and 1 in the batting order for the Disciples. Bruno Auernhammer, Klaus Nicolici, and Richard Klein. Right now, the throwing error by Daniel Sanchez are the difference in the game. The 2 runs that came around to score on Ty Erickson's ground ball. That at the time made it 4-0. And it is now 4-2 as Metzger deals to Auernhammer, swing and a miss, strike 1. We're underway in the 7th. The game was scoreless until the 3rd, and then the Disciples scored a run. They just scored another in the 5th. They scored 2 in the 6th. Solingen answering with 2 in the top of the 7th, and it is 4-2. And there's strike 2, Auernhammer. Looking at a pitch at the knees on the inside corner, and the count quickly 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. 4-2 Solingen, 4-2 Haar leading Solingen. The pitch, breaking ball, line drive, base hit. Past the outstretched glove of Dominic Wolf, and Bruno waiting on the 0-2 curveball, singles to left field. That was definitely a mistake from Metzger. You know he wanted to get that ball down in the dirt, and he left it up. And Bruno, protecting with 2 strikes, shortening up his swing, lines it into left field, base hit. So here's Klaus Nicolici with Auernhammer on first base. That is the 5th hit for the Disciples. Metzger working quickly, deals to Nicolici, shows bunt. The pitch is high for a ball. Selsemeyer looking down to first base behind Auernhammer after that pitch. Nicolici, the number 9 hitter, has grounded back to the pitcher and struck out. He's 0-2. Infield back looking for 2. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Klaus. He squares and gets the bunt down in front of the mound, fielded by Metzger. Hardcuff over to cover first base. Has a little trouble finding the bag, but he gets it. And the play is made 1-4.
Auf der zweiten
sacrifice bunt for Nicolici. And that will put Auernhammer on second base. And here's Richard Klein. Auernhammer with pretty good speed. If Richie Klein can get a base hit, he might be able to score. Remember, good arms in the outfield for the Alligators. Stritzek in left, Goetze in center, and Brookmeyer in right. Richard Klein is 1 for 3. He singled, drove in a run, and then he reached on an error by Sanchez and came around to score in the 6th inning. So he's 1 for 3. Metzger checks on Auernhammer and comes to Klein. Fastball right in there, strike 1. Nothing fancy on pitch number 1 from Chris. Metzger entering the inning was around 80 pitches. He comes set. There's the 1-strike pitch to Klein. Breaking ball in the dirt and a good block by Selsemeyer. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bruno Auernhammer singled on an 0-2 pitch. He was sacrificed to second by Nicolici. And now Richard Klein with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. This is Klein's 4th at bat against Metzger. And he hits a pop fly to short right field. Brookmeyer coming on, and he dives. He can't get it. It's a base hit. Auernhammer had to hold up. He will go to third. Klein takes a turn and holds on there. It's a single. Pop fly dropping into right field. Runners on first and third. Brookmeyer with a valiant effort to try to glove that ball. And he just couldn't quite get there. The wind has died down a little bit. So the Disciples now with runners on first and third with 1 out, and Jose Palacios the hitter. Selsemeyer out to talk to Metzger. I wonder if you might see a squeeze punt here. The Disciples have had trouble stringing together a big rally, and you've got a run sitting on third base. There's 1 out. Infielders are back looking for 2. A squeeze bunt could get a run home. Of course, you've got Metzger, who's a tough guy to make contact against, whether you're swinging or bunting. So Palacios, who is 1 for 3 with a single, steps in there. And the pitch, fastball, strike on the outside corner. Nothing in 1. Bruno Auernhammer is on third. Richard Klein is on first. There is 1 out in the inning. Metzger comes set, 1 strike to Palacios, the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and there goes all fantasy of a bunt. As Palacios waved and missed at a fastball that was away. Metzger again with a runner on third and less than 2 out. He was so close to getting out of it last inning, but then the throwing error allowed the 2 runs to score. Here's the 0-2 to Palacios after a long hold from Metzger. Now he deals. Fastball is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Even when Metzger is missing, he is only missing by an eyelash. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The right-hander comes set, the pitch. Line drive, right center field. That's a base hit. Bruno Auernhammer will score. Klein stops at second base. It is 5-2 Haar on the RBI single by Jose Palacios. And give Palacios credit. He got to 2 strikes and shortened up his swing and lined a base hit to center field. And the 5th run of the game for the Disciples. And now Chris Ziegler with runners on first and second. Only 1 out. 5-2, 5 runs on 7 hits with 1 error for the Disciples. 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 errors for the Alligators. That's the, by my count, that's the first earned run of the game. Here's Ziegler. And the pitch in the dirt, a heck of a block by Selsemeyer. Klein not going anywhere. Off of second base, ball 1. Chris Metzger, through all of the defensive miscues behind him, has maintained his composure. He has not gone to 3 balls on a single hitter in the entire game. He's only been to 2 balls on 1, 2, 3 hitters all game. And he's at 1 right now on Ziegler. Line drive, base hit. The runners had to hold up, so they will all go one station. The bases are loaded, another single. So Ziegler keeps the line moving, and now Josh Peterson with the bases loaded will come to the plate. That's the 4th single in the inning for the Disciples. Here comes Josh Peterson. Josh Peterson is 1 for 3. He's got a single in 3 trips, grounded out twice. So Klein at 3rd, Palacios at 2nd, Ziegler at 1st. 1 out in the inning. Josh Peterson, who led the Disciples with 6 home runs, is at the plate. And now it's Metzger against Peterson. Nowhere to put him. Breaking ball. Fly ball to center field. Florian Goetz has started in. Now he pulls up, makes the catch. Runner tagging from 3rd is not going to try it as the throw comes to the plate on a hop. It was a good one. So Josh is out for the 2nd out, and the runners have to stay put. 1 pitch, and Josh is out. So there are 2 down. That was a breaking ball from Metzger. Metzger wanting nothing to do with a fastball to Josh Peterson, and now Mitch Stefan. So it'll be up to Mitch to get a 2-out hit to try and expand this lead. Klein, Palacios, and base runners, and Klein, Palacios, and Ziegler, excuse me, are the base runners. Mitch Stefan up there. Stefan is 0 for 3. And the first pitch is strike. Metzger keeping the pitch away from Stefan. Stefan is able to drive that ball to the gap in left center field. There's a large gap over that way. Goetze in center is playing Stefan to pull. Bases loaded. Klein, Palacios, and Ziegler the base runners. 1 strike on Mitch Stefan. 2 outs. Little squibber up the first base line. Foul ball off the foot of Mitch Stefan. I believe it was actually the first base umpire, Meister, who called it first. That ball off of Mitch's shin. And I think he also broke his bat, so we'll do it again. 1 ball and, no balls and 2 strikes to Mitch Stefan. Mitch going to take another piece of lumber. He's inspecting it. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Chris Metzger has given up 1 run in the inning, 4 singles. The Disciples lead this game 5-2. We're in the bottom of the 7th. No balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. So Metzger escapes further damage by stranding the runner at 3rd with less than 2 outs. That is his 4th strikeout of the game. However, the Disciples get a run on 4 hits. They left 3, no errors. And at the end of 7, it is Haar 5, Solingen 2. Welcome back to the top of the 8th inning. Tim Collins with you here. And we've had a well-pitched ball game. It has not been a pretty defensive ball game, really, for either team. But Haar is leading by a score of 5-2 as we go to the 8th inning. 5 runs on 9 hits, 1 error for the Disciples, 2 runs on 3 hits, and 4 errors for the Alligators. It will be 2-3-4, Dominic Wolf, Tanner Layton, and Daniel Sanchez against Gabe Sandercius going back out there for 8 innings. He has walked 3, struck out 9, given up 3 hits. He's thrown 105 pitches. And at the slightest hint of trouble, I would bet Lucas Steinlein will be in this game. So Dominic Wolf, who is 0 for 3, is going to start things off for the Alligators. The Disciples scoring another run last inning. There's a strike to Wolf. The RBI single off the bat of Jose Palacios after Solingen had scored 2. There's a swing and a miss, strike 2. Solingen had scored 2 in their half of the 7th inning on a 2-run double by David Selsemeyer. And the score is 5-2 as Sandercius steals 0-2 to Dominic Wolf. Breaking ball hit on the ground towards the hole. Diving stop by Ziegler. He throws to first, and it is off of Stefan's glove, and it kicks up against the fence. The ball is still in play. There's no call, or maybe Palacios backed it up. No, the ball went into the dugout. I didn't see any signal from the umpires, but the ball went into the dugout, so Dominic Wolf will take second base on the error. It was a great play by Ziegler to smother the ball. It's a base hit, and then an error puts him at second base. That's the second error for the Disciples and the 6th of the ball game for both teams. Only the 4th base hit. It was a 0-2 pitch that Sandercius left over the plate, and Wolf was able to hit it to the hole. So he's at second base, leading things off here in the top of the 8th. And now Tanner Layton, who is 0 for 2 with a walk, steps up against Gabe. And the pitch, breaking ball, strike, drops in there, 0-1. I mentioned Gabe started the inning at 105 pitches. Lucas Steinlein, who is in left field, would be the go-to guy. 0-1. And strike 2, a slider drops in, 0-2 to Layton. Well, Sandercius was ahead of Wolf 0-2 and gave up a ground ball single. Now Layton has an 0-2 count. This one is going to stay tight right down to the end, I think. 3-run lead does not seem like a lot for the Disciples. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Tanner Layton. And this one gets away from Palacios, goes to the backstop, and Wolf will take third. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'm not sure if that's a pass ball or a wild pitch. I think it's going to be a pass ball. Putting Dominic Wolf on third base. It is a pass ball. That might have been a cross-up. So Wolf is at third with nobody out. The infield will play back and concede the run. The Disciples are counting outs. They have 6 outs left to get in this game to try and even the series at 1 game apiece. So Wolf is at third. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Tanner Layton. Gabe's going to go from the windup. Pitch. Ground ball, and Stefan smothers it, looks the runner back, takes it to the bag, 1 down. Wolf has to stay put at third base. Nice play by Mitch Stefan, leaning to his right to glove that ball as he went down to a knee. And the ball not hit deep enough into the infield to give Wolf a chance to score, so he's still at third base with 1 out. Now the batter is Daniel Sanchez. Sanchez not having his best days. 0 for 3. He's made 2 errors in the field. But he's got Dominic Wolf out there at third base with 1 out. Sandercius deals. Breaking ball. Strike. No balls and 1 strike. Sandercius looking at Dominic Wolf on third base. Peterson with his hands on his knees about 5 feet away from the bag. And now Gabe comes to Daniel Sanchez. Swung on, tapped on the ground slowly towards short. Ziegler gloves it, throws to first, in time for the out. Wolf will score, however, and it is 5-3. RBI ground out for Sanchez, and there are 2 down. And we will have to wait and see whether that run will be earned or not, depending on what Nils Hartkopf does. At the moment, it looks like it would be an unearned run. Sandurcius, the 2 previous runs he gave up were also unearned. So he's now pitching with 2 outs, nobody on, and Nils Hartkopf, the hitter. Hartkopf is 1 for 3. He singled, struck out and flat out. And he lines one to Ziegler, who gloves it as it was tailing towards him. Ziegler trying to catch a slider that was coming at him off the bat of Hartkopf. And that is out number 3. So Sandurcius, all in all, gives up a run, but it's a fairly quick inning. And at the end of 7.5, it is Haar 5, Solingen 3.
Servus Ingrid, ja, kannst du ein bisschen erzählen über die schöne
Zum
Zeug?
Beispiel das Trainingsshirt für die Kinder oder für die Erwachsenen.
For kids and
Sieht
adults.
man genauso aus wie die Herren 1 im Training.
Looks exactly like the first men's Bundesliga team. In training, what else we got here? We got,
Oder
gelb-schwarz.
gelb-schwarze Jacke mit Disciples Day.
Yeah, it's got like a vintage retro look to it. That's pretty cool.
Ja.
We also have hats.
Und dann
Right, where are the hats? Caps and okay, let's take a look at these. Oh, there's also sunflower seeds. Yeah, schöne Mützen. This is the old-fashioned one, right?
ja.
Yeah. And there's even a mirror. Hey. All kinds of good stuff. Yeah, the Disciples jerseys. This is a very impromptu little commercial we're doing here. Thank you, Sepp. This is soft shell jacket. Thank you, Sepp, for the information.
Hoodie.
The hoodie. We got the hoodie.
Majestic hoodie.
Ah, yeah, majestic hoodie. Nice. This is a nice hoodie.
Also a hoodie, but only with a sweater.
Schöne.
Ja.
Okay, vielen Dank.
We're back for the bottom of the 8th inning, and Norman Eberhardt has made a pitching change for the Solingen Alligators. Andre Hughes, who pitched 5 innings yesterday, is going to come on and try to pitch 2 innings today. Hughes, who is not a hard thrower, has a rubber arm, so he's going to come back. So Chris Metzger is done. He went 7 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, only 1 of which was earned. 4 strikeouts, no walks. He was very good, but he was let down a little bit by his defense, and that's the only reason he's trailing in this game, 5-3. But baseball is a team sport, so it's not all about the pitcher, it's also about the guys behind him. There have been 6 errors in the game, 2 by the Disciples, 4 by the Alligators, and here's Ty Erickson, Steinlein, and Auernhammer. And Erickson swings and pops up the first pitch to right field. This is Sasha Brookmeyer waiting for it, and he one-hands it. 1 pitch, 1 out. It'll bring up Lucas Steinlein. Steinlein created a run all by himself back in the 5th inning. He popped a little single to right field. He stole second, and then he stole third, and then as the throw went off the glove of Dominic Wolf, he scored on the error. Hughes deals to him. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. After Steinlein, it will be Bruno Auernhammer. Next pitch on the way. Ground ball slowly hit to Dominic Wolf. He fields a short hop, throws across the diamond in time. 2 outs. Andre Hughes picks right up where he left off yesterday, getting quick outs. That'll bring up Bruno Auernhammer. Bruno today is 1 for 3. He reached on an error and scored in the 3rd, and then he flat out and singled and scored in the 7th. Ball 1 to him. Haar leading 5-3. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The Disciples need 3 more outs to even this series. There's a strike from Hughes. One ball and 1 strike. Tapped back to Hughes on a big hop. He throws to first, and that'll do it. We will go to the top of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Alligators. At the end of 8 full, it is Haar 5, Solingen 3.
Kommen wir zum 9. Inning, 5:3.
Die verrückteste Entwicklung dieses Jahrhunderts. Die verrückteste Entwicklung dieses Jahrhunderts. Loopings bei 1.
Aber jetzt ist gut. Ellis in der Offense, da braucht man keinen Rückenwind. Für die Alligators am Schlag, die Nummer 11, Sascha Brockmeier.
Here we go to the top of the 9th inning. Solingen and Haar. Haar leading this game by a score of 5-3. Trying to even the series, and Gabe Sandursis, who has thrown 115 pitches, is going to try and finish what he started. He's going to deal with 6, 7, and 8. Brockmeier, Hughes, and Stritzek here in the 9th inning. 5-3 the pitch. Outside, ball 1. I would think if a batter reaches, Lucas Steinlein will come in the game. Sascha Brockmeier is 1 for 3. He doubled. This one is inside. 2 balls and no strikes. He doubled and was stranded in the 2nd, and he reached on an error in the 7th and came around and scored. He is also flied out. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. 9th inning, game 2 of the Disciples and Alligators. The pitch. There's a strike at the knees, just barely 2 balls and 1 strike. Gabe is running on fumes. It's 2-1. Ground ball to Ziegler. He fields, throws, got him, 1 down.
Chris Ziegler holt sich Sascha Brockmeier der Ersten. Nächster Schlagmann die Nummer 30, Dustin Hughes.
Brockmeier is out 6-3, 1 down in the 9th inning, and now Dustin Hughes flied out and struck out twice. He is 0 for 3. Gabe has struck out 9, walked 3. He has only allowed 4 hits, 3 runs. All of them are unearned. Here's the pitch to Hughes. Outside, ball 1. This series will continue next Saturday in Solingen. We will broadcast those games for you. There's a ball low and bouncing off the plate all the way to the backstop. 2 balls, no strikes. There's Marcus Stritzek, the on-deck hitter, crossed in front of your screen. Gabe had to labor in the 6th inning and the 7th inning and a little bit in the 8th inning, although not so much. He's got a 2-ball, no strike count to Dustin Hughes. And he finds the strike zone the same way he did to Brockmeier on the 2-0. That one is in there at the knees on the outside corner, 2-1. And the Haar and Solingen fans have been in this one for the whole game. This one is outside, ball 3, 3-1. And now a big pitch coming. Could very well determine Sandursis' fate, whether he stays in the game or not. 3-1 to Hughes. Ball 4, and it skips away from Palacios, who runs to the backstop to get it. And now Josh Peterson is heading over to talk to Gabe, and he's going to give Gabe the heads up. It looks like Gabe is going to probably come out of the game. Sandursis is done. Lucas Steinlein is exiting the left field position. He's going to warm up and try to come in and close this game out. He'll be facing Marcus Stritzek with the tying run on base. And Gabe Sandursis gets a nice hand from the fans here in Haar. He pitched a great ball game, 8 1/3. 4 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks, 9 strikeouts. He is responsible for the runner Hughes at first, and he leaves the game in favor of Lucas Steinlein. So that means there will be a new left fielder. Sandersius is going to go to right field. So Sandersius stays in the game, and he would bat in Nicolici's spot. And I think Ty Erickson is going to go to left field. Well, we'll see. I'll let you know in a moment what happens.
Und ich glaube, das war's auch heute jetzt im Outfield. Bruder Arnold, City Basel, Center, Right Field, der Game. Auf dem Mount, der Luke aus dem Spiel. Dickes Applaus auf ihn, Ty Erickson, Dankeschön. Ein Aushammer, 2 brauchen wir noch, Burschen. Nein, ist die Spannendheit.
So Cedric Bossel goes into center field. He goes in the lineup in Ty Erickson's spot. That's the number 6 hole. Erickson comes out of the game. Gabe Sandersius goes to right field. Lucas Steinlein, who was in left field, now is going to pitch. Bruno Auernhammer moves to left. So the outfield is now Auernhammer, Bossel, and Sandersius. Lucas Steinlein is going to come in and pitch. Let me give you his numbers. He was a formidable force out of the bullpen for the Disciples this year. His numbers are as such: 52 1/3 innings pitched, a 3.6 earned run average, 20 walks, 36 strikeouts. Gave up 49 hits, hit 4 batters. But he's usually got nerves of steel out there. Does not get phased by much. So it's going to be his job to come on and try to deal with Marcus Stritzek and David Selsemeyer, the number 8 and 9 hitters. Dustin Hughes is on first base. That was Sandersius' 4th walk. I misspoke earlier. So Sandersius is responsible for the runner. However, Sandersius cannot lose the game. He can only win it. So Marcus Stritzek will be the tying run. He is 0 for 3 in the game. Lucas Steinlein has thrown his warm-up pitches. There's 1 out in the 9th inning. Dustin Hughes on first base. Solingen and Haar, it's a 5-3 lead for Haar in the top of the 9th. So here we go, Marcus Stritzek against Lucas Steinlein, with 1 out in the 9th inning and Dustin Hughes on first base. The wind is really starting to whip around now. Any ball hit in the air might be an adventure. So here's Stritzek. Steinlein working from the stretch, his first pitch. Strike right in there, 0-1. Steinlein, who was a member of the national team for the first time this year as a pitcher, along with Sandersius and Treasel, in fact, the 3-man rotation for the Disciples. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Palacios. Hughes has to stay put, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Steinlein basically throws fastball and a slider, and he varies the speed on his breaking pitch. Sometimes he throws it hard, sometimes he throws it more soft. Is the 1-1. Popped up. On the infield, Stefan backpedaling. It's going to be a tough play with the wind. He crosses into foul ground, and he makes the catch. There are 2 outs.
Yes, baby! Nick Stefan aus Nummer 3.
And now, it could be a fitting way for this game to end. David Selsemeyer, who has played in Haar on 2 different seasons. Selsemeyer, who shortly before the beginning of this season switched back to Solingen, and that was the reason why the Disciples had to pick up Jose Palacios. And the Disciples like Palacios, of course they like Selsemeyer a lot, but he is the last man standing in this game. The pitch. Strike, fastball. So, Steinlein, who of course worked quite a bit with David Selsemeyer as well last year, when Selsemeyer was catching for the Disciples. So they know each other. The 0-1, fouled away, 0-2. The Disciples are a strike away from evening this series and sending it back to Solingen, 1-1. David Selsemeyer behind in the count, 0-2. Selsemeyer is 1 for 3. He had a big 2-run double in the 7th inning off of Sandursis. Hughes off first, the 0-2, breaking ball, fly ball, right field. Sandursis ranging over near the line, makes the catch. The game is over and the Haar Disciples win. So David Selsemeyer flies out to his former battery mate in right field, Gabe Sandursis, with a nice running catch in right field. The game is over and a standing ovation is occurring here in Haar. Final score, the Disciples 5, the Solingen Alligators 3. Gabe Sandursis gets the win, striking out 9. Chris Metzger will get the loss. Lucas Steinlein gets the save, and we're going to go to Solingen 1-1. Excellent atmosphere in Haar. This is the largest crowd I have ever seen here in this ballpark, and it was also the liveliest. So I would like to thank the fans. Who knows if there will be another home game here this year. If there isn't, then this has been a great way to end it. So next Saturday in Solingen at 1 p.m. we will be broadcasting Game 3 of this series, which is now even. Final score, the Haar Disciples 5, Solingen Alligators 3. My name is Tim Collins. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the broadcast. We'll see you next Saturday.